without further ado, let's set the scene by inviting the speakers for today. First, who will help us understand what the program is about, and then slowly and gradually we'll move into the essays and the reference letters. I very warmly welcome Mr. Kyron Roderick, who is the lead Reliance Foundation Scholarships Program. Thank you so much, Kyron, for joining us today.
Thank you, Aishi, and a warm welcome to everyone who's joined us today.
Next, we have with us, just like all the other students who have joined us today, one more student who is now also a Reliance Foundation Scholar of Cycle 2021-22, Rohit Taparia. He's currently pursuing BTech in Information Technology from NIT Karnataka, Surathkal, and he loves playing cricket, chess, and badminton. He also likes to lead in conducting technical events in college and as well enjoys teaching. A very warm welcome to you, Rohit. We also have with us another Reliance Foundation scholar, Priya Bhatia, who is currently working as a data scientist in iNeuron company. And apart from that, she used to mentor the students and help them learn more about technology related to AI and computer science. She has completed her BTech in computer science and then she pursued her master's in artificial intelligence from IIT Hyderabad. She has her own very YouTube channel by her name itself, and she also loves sharing her own personal experiences, learnings, and failures. A very, very warm welcome to you, Priya, and we are delighted that you could join us today.
Thank you so much, Ayushi. And hello, everyone.
Thanks, Priya. So now let's start with you, Kyron. If you can please tell us a bit more about the Reliance Foundation Postgraduate Scholarships Program.
Sure, thank you, Aishi. Reliance Foundation has always been, in fact, has always believed in the power of education to create a new India. And we aim to provide India's youth with the best opportunities to learn and grow in the future. The scholarship program is part of Reliance Foundation's ongoing focus to develop and improve access to world-class education right from early childhood to higher studies. The Reliance Foundation schools provide quality education to 14,000 students every year. The Dhirubhai Ambani scholarships have provided over 12,776 scholarships since 1996 on a merit cum needs basis for students who are pursuing higher education. The Geo Institute is poised to be a world-class, multidisciplinary higher education and research institution. Education is at the core of Reliance Foundation's work, with the belief that developing and empowering young leaders of tomorrow with skills, knowledge, and opportunities will build a stronger India. This year in 2023, Reliance Foundations will identify and support 100 of India's brightest postgraduate students with a generous grant award and a strong development program, nurturing future leaders who can think big, think green, and think digital for the benefit of society. The Reliance Foundation postgraduate scholarships aim to nurture world-class talent that will help power India's new era of growth. And for this, it will identify and select the best and the brightest students in India through a rigorous and competitive selection process.
Thank you so much, Kyron. That's really very helpful. And since the program is so exciting and it is absolutely useful for the students to apply, we have been receiving so many questions on email, our chatbot, and the helpline number. And we will aim to tackle all those questions of yours, especially related to essays and reference letter in this information session. So if you have any questions during the session, please type them in the comments box and we will take them at the end. So before we deep dive, let's watch a very quick video on the general application tips to apply to the Reliance Foundation postgraduate scholarships.
Hi everyone, I'm here to give you some tips and tricks to get your application ready before the deadline. First, I want to talk about the application process. You will need to fill the eligibility questionnaire on our website www.scholarships.reliancefoundation.org. If you are eligible, you will receive an email invitation with OTP details to apply through the application portal. You can then go ahead and fill out the application form, which is made up of the following components: personal and contact information, 2 reference letters, academic and professional information, 2 essays, achievements and awards, and supporting documents. I wanted to give you some tips on preparing and submitting your supporting documents. Review the FAQs and guidance to applicants on our website and make a checklist of all required documents. Start collecting and uploading the documents right away. Don't wait for the last day. Review each document after you upload to ensure it has been uploaded successfully. And finally, here are our top 3 tips on submitting your application on time. Set aside some time each day to work on your application. Set a deadline for yourself even before the final deadline. Make a checklist of all application components and plan accordingly. And remember, you can always text hi on WhatsApp at 7977 100 100 with any questions or email us. Good luck with your applications.
Well, that was really, really helpful. So, Kyrin, coming to you, please can you tell us a bit more about the application and the selection process and what is new this year, which the students should actually keep in mind and focus on?
Sure. So the student's journey, the whole application journey will start on our website where they will need to fill out a pre-eligibility form. And only once they pass that pre-eligibility, they will be invited to apply for the scholarship through our portal. Now, as a reminder, to be eligible, students need to be resident Indian citizens. They should be in their first year of an eligible postgraduate degree program. They also need to have a GATE score which is greater than 550, or if they've not taken the GATE examination, then they need to have a UG CGPA of 7.5 or higher. The eligible degree programs are computer science, artificial intelligence, mathematics and computing, electrical and or electronics engineering, chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, renewable and new energy, material science and engineering, and life sciences. Once the students pass the questionnaire, they will get the link and the credentials to apply for the scholarship. They need to submit all the details on the platform along with all the supporting documents. Now, once the students have submitted the application form, they will be assigned a date and time slot for the aptitude test. So that's the new feature that we have this year for the scholarship. The aptitude test will be a proctored multiple choice exam that's non-adaptive, and it will be just one of the components that we used for the evaluation of the candidate. Students will have 60 minutes to complete 3 sections of the aptitude test. That's 20 minutes per section. And the sections are verbal, analytical, and logical, and numerical abilities. We're going to give specially able students an additional 30 minutes in order to complete the test. That's 10 minutes extra for each section. Now, once the students completes the aptitude test, only then is when the application is considered as complete. This will then be followed by a first level of evaluation for some selected students, followed by interviews by an expert panel of academicians and experts in the industry. Post these interviews, the final selection of scholars will be made. And as a reminder, all candidates will be selected on the basis of merit, and the whole process will be virtual this year. So that's the overall application and selection process that we will be following.
Thank you, Karin. That's really helpful. Students should definitely ensure that they give the aptitude test. And as you mentioned, there is a practice test available, so you should not self-eliminate yourself. You should give that practice test and then, accordingly set yourself some time and absolutely appear for that in order to complete your applications for this year. Coming to you, Rohit, what does the application consist of this year and any basic tips to get it ready in time from your end?
So the application form consists of majorly these sections: the personal and contact information, wherein you have to mention your name, address, family members, etc. 2 reference letters, which will be written by the 2 nominees that you choose, one academic and one character. There will be a section to fill in your academic or professional information like your grades in your previous degree program, your grades in your 10th and 12th, etc. The next section is awards and achievements. So this is an important section because this is a chance to showcase what you have achieved till now in life. So I would suggest to please fill in this section properly and include all the relevant information. The next section is the 2 essays, which I feel is the most important section of your application. There is one personal statement and one statement of purpose. So what these essays do is they give you a chance to make your application unique and personalized, right? So these are like one of the most important parts. So please take your time and write them diligently. And then there will be a need to upload the supporting documents like your photograph, your photo ID proof, your mark sheets, and your proof of enrollment in the current institution. And the next part of the question, to get your application ready in time, what helped me was I used to set aside 30 minutes every day to devote to my application. So I made it a habit that after playing badminton, I will devote 30 minutes to my application. Even when it was completely ready, I used to still devote half an hour so that I can refine my essays again and make them perfect. So I think this helped me to fill in my application in time and make the essays perfect. So one other tip would be to set a deadline for yourself. So the original deadline is 14th of Feb, but I would suggest you to push to prepone it to 7th of Feb for yourself so that you avoid any last minute hiccups. And then make a checklist of all the components which I've mentioned till now. So some of the components are easy to fill in, but the essays and the reference letters require quite a time, right? So please do not postpone it till further and start it as soon as you can so that you can make them perfect in the limited time. Also, one last tip would be aware and clear all your doubts. The Reliance Foundation scholarship team is very helpful in all these things. I have wrote like tens and tens of emails to them regarding every single doubt that I had in the application, and they replied instantly in a day or two. So yeah, so please clear your doubts early on so that you don't do any mistakes in the application.
Thank you so much, Rohit. That was super, super helpful. I'm sure students are taking notes because this session is going to be really helpful for them. And as Rohit mentioned, whilst it is important for you to play badminton, it's also important for you to set aside some time for your application every day because I'm sure you would be having a lot of deadlines and assignments and submissions. And yes, absolutely, you can always write to us on our email and our chatbot and helpline number. We are always available to answer all your queries. And just like that, if you have any questions in this session also, please keep them writing them in the comment section. Coming to you, Priya, what are the supporting documents that the students need to prepare and any tips on those?
So first of all, before talking about the supporting documents, I know that when you will go to the application portal, you will find out that there are so many documents, and sometimes you feel like, oh my God, who will do these stuffs? Let it go. So please, whenever you will see the supporting documents, make a proper checklist because there are so many documents that you need to prepare. The very first thing is the address proof. So there, maybe you can upload the Aadhaar card, okay, or the passport that you have. Apart from that, you require the academic mark sheet. So if you are doing a PG from a college, you know that for every semester you will be able to get a grade sheet from the college. So make sure that you will upload the PDF version of that for every semester. For example, if you're in a second semester, so you will be having the 2 semesters, and on the upcoming semesters, you will be able to get it once you will be able to complete those semesters. Apart from that, the transcripts, if you have. Apart from that, the bona fide certificate, as Rohit already said, that you have to show the proof of the college. So student ID or the bona fide certificate, anything will work out for that. Apart from that, if applicable, for example, usually people go for PG after having some work experience. For example, let me take my case itself. I have, when I pursued my masters, I already had 1 year of experience from one of the MNC. So make sure to have all those documents handy. Obviously we have, but sometimes we don't take it properly. And work experience, whatsoever work experience letter you have, make sure to upload that as well. Apart from that, if you have done some internships from some MNCs, or maybe anything in IITs also, people used to do research works, so make sure to upload all those things as well. So these are the few things which you need to upload. Apart from that, if you are gate qualified, make sure to upload that thing. And as Kiran sir already said, that either the gate qualified and you must have watched the video as well, 550 plus score, or if you will be having a CGP of 7.5 plus. So for in out of these two things, for example, in my case, both of them were there, so I uploaded both of them. If any one thing, for example, you are not gate qualified or you haven't attempted gate exam, don't worry. If you are having a CGP of 7.5 plus, you must have a degree of that or the transcript of that. So make sure to upload all those stuffs as well. Now, few tips which I want to give here is that, as I told you, that there are multiple things. So make sure, first of all, try to write everything. Whatsoever things you require, make a note of them, make a proper checklist, have a proper folder. So what I usually did is that I created one special folder for this Reliance Foundation scholarship, and whatsoever documentation things are required, I first of all collected that itself. And after that, when I uploaded, sometimes what happened, I remember the case of my friend where he think that he uploaded the document, but it doesn't upload it successfully. And he don't even able to see that he thought in his head that everything is done, but it was not like that. So make sure that once you upload a document, check that whether the document is fully uploaded or not, and if not, do upload it again. And as Rohit already said, that if you have any sort of doubts, please do mail them out. They will frequently solve your queries. If you have, try to ask your concerns rather than sitting at one place and thinking that what will happen. Okay, or maybe if you know that there are so many friends of yours who are applying in this scholarship, ask from them. Better directly ask from the Reliance Foundation Scholar Program coordinators itself rather than going for to any third person. But yeah, these are the few tips which I want to give here as a supporting documents.
Thank you so much, Priya. That was very, very elaborative and super helpful. I'm sure students are taking notes. So thanks again, Kairin, Rohit, and Priya. I now invite the distinguished speakers for today's evening who have joined us today, who will help us now deep dive into the essays and the reference letters. So firstly, I would like to warmly welcome Ms. Nitika Thakur. She is a compassionate counselor, advocator, and a passionate educator. Starting in the education counseling space since 1995, she has gained experience in student applications to boarding schools, tertiary, and postgraduate education. She works towards empowering each student to realize their full potential and be responsible and excited about the choices they make. We are delighted to have you with us, Nitika, today.
Good evening. I'm happy to be here and a part of this movement that's going to give these opportunities to the youth of India. All the best.
Thanks, Nitika. We also have with us Ms. Jayashree. She's a former TV journalist turned development communication professional, and she heads the communications at the Reliance Foundation. Her work in media and communication has spanned social sector organizations on themes ranging from health and child welfare to agriculture across Asia, Africa. She's a continuous learner and she has been on scholarships program to the UK and the Netherlands and served as a visiting faculty of media and journalism. A very, very warm welcome to you, Jayashree.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. And students who are listening, wish you all the very best.
Thank you, Jayashree. Thank you, Nitika. So before we do a deep dive into the essays and the reference letters, firstly, we'll talk about essays and then gradually move to the reference letters. So let's play a video and see that what are the tips on writing effective essays.
Hi everyone, I'd like to give you some insights and tips for writing your application essays. The application requires you to write 2 essays and there is a limit of 4,000 characters for each. 4,000 characters may seem like a lot, but it is actually around only 700 words each. Essay number 1 is the personal statement. This essay really gives you an opportunity to paint a picture about yourself in your own way. Who are you? What matters to you? And what are your goals? It should highlight your personal history and background. Tell us about your educational and professional background and your future aspirations, as well as any challenges that you have faced and the ways in which these experiences have affected you and your personal growth. How does your story reflect your commitment to the Reliance Foundation Scholarship, values of excellence, your leadership potential, integrity, courage, community commitment, and growth mindset? You can also include your special abilities and interests, career plans, and life goals. Essay number 2 is the statement of purpose. How will the scholarship enable you to achieve your goals? This statement should explain how the course that you are studying will nurture you and enable you to achieve your full potential and aspirations for your future career. Some of these questions may be helpful. What motivates you to pursue the course that you are studying? How will this course enable and nurture your growth? And remember, try to be clear and concise. The evaluators reading your proposal want you to get to the point about the who, what, when, where, why, and how of your program choice. What are our top 3 tips for writing your essay? Number 1. Talk about yourself honestly and truthfully. Number 2. Make it personal. You are your best content and tell us about what motivates and drives you. Number 3. Connect with teachers or mentors for feedback. Proofread your essays to ensure there are no spelling or grammatical errors.
Well, the video was really, really informative, but it's always best to hear from the experts themselves. So, again, I will once urge the students, if you have any questions now, since we move on to the essays and reference letters, which you would want to ask our experts today, please type them in the comments box so we can answer them at the end of the session. Jayashri, let's start with you. Please, can you explain what is a personal statement and, you know, what exactly students should focus on once writing one?
Yeah, thanks, Ayushi. This personal essay really is an opportunity for every student out there to stand out among the thousands of applications that are really going to come up. It is a qualitative way of assessing. And as you saw in the video, it's very clearly explaining what it is that you need to exhibit in that essay. A few simple things to keep in mind while you write the essay is that one, of course, there's a lot of brilliant students out there, a lot of them who are going to have similar personal essays, similar experiences, similar scores. So what makes you different? What makes you a little bit more appropriate or apt for this particular scholarship? That's really what you need to kind of bring out in the essay. One of the things that you really need to keep in mind is that the start or the beginning of the essay is really the most important part. When you're skimming through, what you'd ideally do is, like, for an evaluator, you need to have like something really strong to catch your attention. And of course, the conclusion also needs to be pretty strong, but that doesn't mean what's in between is not important. It really needs to come from a very honest and a genuine feeling. Just like in the video, it said, these are things that are going to kind of add up at the next stage when you're kind of being evaluated for other characteristics or other professional opportunities ahead of you that you're aspiring for. So I think, keeping that in mind, if you create a structure, keep it personal and honest, yes, but you need to focus much more on how you overcame certain challenges as part of your life, what made you stronger, what made you a better person, and what it is that connects to the big picture. The big picture being this particular scholarship. So every personal essay can be for a different purpose. For this personal essay, keep in mind that it is for this scholarship. So the evaluators are looking for the attributes that make you a suitable candidate for this. I think that's broadly what I would like to kind of suggest to keep to keep in mind while you start working on that. And yes, as Priya mentioned, Rohit mentioned, start early, because you need several times of writing, rewriting, looking at your own work, and seeing that you have the perfect product out. Yes, Ayush.
Thanks, Jayashri. That's super, super helpful for students. And just to, understand better what you said, Rohit, please can you throw some light from your own personal experience of, writing a personal statement last year? And what did you focus on while writing the same?
Yeah, so while writing my personal statement, I knew that I had a chance to tell my story and my perspective, my goals in that personal statement, right? So I had some priorities in mind while writing my personal statement. I read the values Reliance Foundation was looking for in the scholars, and I tried to frame my essay on how I deserve it on those lines. So one value which I distinctly remember I tried to incorporate in my essay was Reliance was looking for future leaders who would enhance their field of study. And my goals in my life were somewhat aligned to that. I wanted to be a part of India's future IT industry boom, and I clearly mentioned it in my essay. So I throughout the essay, I tried to keep it simple and in the character limit, and tried to concentrate on painting a picture of my personal self. I included my academic and personal background details in it too, the challenges that I had faced in my life and how did I overcome them, as Jesse said. And I mentioned everything which I thought were relevant to my personal statement. I ended up including some personal goals which I was planning to achieve in my life, and how the scholarship could be a huge help in helping me achieve those goals. So I also highlighted that if given the opportunity, I could rise up to it, and I knew what I wanted in life and how passionate I was about it. So in summary, I tried to convey about myself as much as possible to make my application personalized. Uh, Staying within the character limit again. And one thing I had in mind while writing the whole essay is that I need to convey why I am applying to this scholarship and how my goals in my life are aligned to the values it is looking for. So I just tried to convey why I do deserve this scholarship in my mind. Yeah. So that is what I kept in mind.
Thank you so much, Rohit. That is absolutely helpful. Yes, one has to be honest. One has to bring out their personal self and be sure that they are maintaining the characters. The character limit is very, very important. You just can't overdo it. So that point was also really important. Thank you for sharing that. While you have shared with us, Jayashree, what does a personal statement entails, would you want to give some guidance to students how to nail the personal statement?
Um, yeah, sure. I mean, there isn't like a success formula per se, but what would really help is one, keep it positive. I think keeping it positive is really important. So while you might have a number of challenges that you've overcome, I think the positive story of what happened next and how that's made you a stronger person, and as Rohit said, one of the future leaders or students with potential to transform their industry. So that is number one. So be positive. The second is also to keep it very aspirational and authentic. So while you can say that I want to be a future leader in this particular industry, you should have demonstrated in your essay why and how that you feel and believe that it's possible. And that's why you make that connect, you make it as realistic and as authentic as possible. And the third is if possible, try to keep it a little bit on the lighter side, maybe slightly witty. You don't have to crack a joke, definitely, but something that makes the reader just smile when they read, brings again a positive emotion to your candidature. So don't force feed it. If it doesn't work for you, maybe don't try it. But otherwise, I would say PAW, which is being positive, being authentic, and being witty. So that could be one little formula that you could try out.
Thank you so much. Being authentic, being positive, and being witty. Super helpful. Coming to you, Nitika. Now, I think let's move on to the statement of purpose. So, please, if you can explain what is a statement of purpose and how should students approach it?
Yeah, sure. So, a statement of purpose, just like the name suggests, is a more formal letter of intent. It's written to the admissions panel and talks about your career path, your interests, your professional contributions, most importantly, your goals, and the driving force behind why you want to pursue this program. So, just like Jayashree said, you got to be a little lighter with the personal statement. With the statement of purpose, it becomes a lot more formal. While there's a fine line between the content that goes into both these essays per se, the personal statement is more in your voice about your traits, your qualities, while the statement of purpose is your goals and about the future. Why you're suitable, what are your achievements, what are your passions, these qualitative traits that describe your personality, which are not covered in the rest of your application. It's not covered in your academic documents. That is what a statement of purpose does. So to kind of sum what goes into it, you can start by introducing yourself, your interests, what motivates you, and then go on to the body where you summarize what your previous achievements are and how they tie in with what you want to do in the future. And while I say that, you don't have to know what you want to do in the future. What the panel really wants to see is your passion, your ambition, and have you shown leadership in any aspect of your life? And finally, to close in on that statement of purpose by elaborating on what your academic interests are, tell the committee how this scholarship will help you to achieve your future goals. That would broadly be what the statement of purpose is required to achieve.
Thank you, Nitika. That's very, very helpful. And just drawing from what you said, Priya, please could you elaborate from your experience of last year? How did you write the statement of purpose and what guidance you would want to give them to nail the same?
Sure, Ayushi. So, as Nitika ma'am already explained it pretty well, the important line here that you need to understand is that when you're writing a statement of purpose, you are writing something which was not there in your academia that you already have uploaded. That is different thing. They know how much CGPA you have. They know everything about your academia, that which subjects you have taken from your transcript. Here what the panel wants to see is our attitude towards life, the values that you just now have seen in the videos, right? Leadership, commitment to the community, are these things we have or not? This is what you have to show. It's not like showing purpose, it's like actually you do have. And if you have, how you are doing today? Suppose you want to do something for the community, so are you doing today, or do you have some thought in your head that what things you will do in the future? For example, let me take my experience. So I told in my SOP that what's the motivation why I am pursuing my masters from IIT Hyderabad. What's the reason of my doing the research? What's the motivation I have? That was written only in SOP. That was not there in my uploaded documents. What's the purpose? What's my background from where I came? What gives me the enthusiasm to pursue the masters in AI? What I want to do from AI? What is my future? What I can see? What is my vision? That is something they want to see. Another thing, for example, I told to them that for community I want to do the teaching part. I told to them, but what I'm doing currently I was teaching some students in some of the companies. I have the collaborations at that time. So that shows that okay, this person is saying genuinely what she wants to do. And I told to them at that point of time that, sir, once my masters will get completed, or I have written in the SOP as well, that once my masters will get completed, I will open my own YouTube channel where I'll share my knowledge. And that is what I did, right? So whatsoever I am saying, genuinely I can feel that. And when you are saying, when you are being honest, that is something which you already know, right? When we are truthful, when we are honest, then automatically confidence will come into picture. And that is what panels are also will be also able to see. And in the interview, they will ask definitely the questions with respect to SOP. So whosoever will take your interview, they will go through your SOP, that okay, what this person is all about, and whatsoever he or she have written in the SOP, is that actual or not? And they will be definitely able to get that because they are very highly experienced. So make sure, do spend your time on SOP part. And it's not, I will not say that do spend 1 hour and you will be done. I spend a lot of time on a daily basis. Sometimes I feel like these things I should add. Sometimes I feel like, no, there are more better things which I need to add here. Make sure within a limit. Again, there are so many things which do have, but make sure that whichever be the values of Reliance Foundation scholarships we have, are these things are aligning whatever you are written, and what are the values. So if those things are there, you are honest, you are confident, you are trustworthy, automatically things will work out, definitely. Yeah, this is what I want to share.
Thank you, Priya. Super, super helpful. Just last one question to you, Nitika. Please, can you explain us the difference between a personal statement and the statement of purpose?
Right. So, thank you, Priya. That was so enthusiastically and passionately conveyed. I hope the students draw from it and give us good statement of purposes. So, yes, like I did say earlier as well, the difference between a personal statement and a statement of purpose, the statement of purpose is more formal. In the personal statement, you informally can convey, communicate your qualities as a person. Like Jayashree said, you could, add humor, but that's not how the statement of purpose works. It's a lot more formal. It outlines your goals, your experience, and how you've drawn from your extracurricular activities. While the personal statement gives this personal and academic background, the statement of purpose explains the rationale behind this application, and in this case, the scholarship, why you're deserving of the scholarship. Um, and the last point, the personal statement shows your readiness for a future course, while the statement of purpose clearly states what your career goals are. Yeah.
Thank you, Nitika. I'm sure like students now would have noted, the differences between the same and they'll be able to make clear distinctions. A last question to you, Rohit, on the essays. Any tips from your end and what according to you are the do's and the don'ts that students should follow?
Okay. Yeah. So first of all, I would suggest all of you to write your essays diligently, keep much time to them, and refine them continuously. This is what I did, and this is, I think, which helped me the most. Plus, as you can see on the slide, the essay is not a resume. You just don't keep on putting your CGPA and your achievements only. Try to tell the reason behind them. Try to tell the reason behind your purpose in life, right? And do not sound materialistic and self-absorbed. You need to make a good impression here, so please do that. And one of the most important thing is check your essays for spelling and grammatical errors. Get someone you trust to read them once, to proofread them, and point out some errors, and also take some feedback and try to incorporate them in your essays, because they actually read your essays, and some questions in the interview might be based on your essays. So these mistakes give a very bad impression that you were not committed to writing them, and hence make sure to get rid of them. So these are very small things, but they do matter a lot. And the other thing is talk about yourself honestly and truthfully. This is what will make your application unique. To this Having said that, it goes that you are not required to copy your essays from some other sources. I know it sometimes might be intimidating, and you might find some article on the net with some fancy words and quotes, and you might try to incorporate that in your essays. But believe me, those fancy words and quotes aren't going to help you. Your originality will, right? So there are also checkers available online, right? So if you copy from some other sources, it will get caught. So I will really encourage you to keep it as original as you can. Also connect with teachers and mentors for feedback and incorporate them in your essays. In my case, I made some of my friends read the essays and ask them what did they feel after reading those essays. Do I deserve the scholarship? I actually made them the panel. So some of the feedbacks that they gave me, I actually incorporate incorporated them in my essays. And one last thing would be to not rant about yourself getting about not getting perfect scores or a position of leadership you applied for, right? So I know these things matter, but in the long run of your life and the values the scholarship is looking in, these are very small things. So if you want to mention them, just mention them and tell how you moved on from that and how you are doing better in your life right now. Yeah, so those were my tips.
Thank you so much, Rohit. Those were absolutely pearls of wisdom. I mean, so important to not be materialistic, to be authentic, and absolutely to, ask your friends and seek feedback from your teachers. It's absolutely helpful. Thank you so much for that. Now, coming to Jayashree, if you can please throw some light on the profile of a Reliance Foundation postgraduate scholar that should actually come out in these essays.
I think a lot of you would have already gone through the scholarships website, looked at the videos, looked at a lot of the material that's available. If you haven't, please do, because it gives you a lot of small things, right from keywords to attributes to what it is that can actually help you crack this and to get the scholarship. But most of all, I'd like you to take note of the two people on the screen, which is Rohit and Priya. I mean, to us, they are an example of what we see in Reliance Foundation scholars, not just now but in the future. And if you can listen to some of their interviews, including on their podcast, you see how they've also kind of shared some of their learnings. They've been so generous with what their experience has been and what they've learned. I think that truly exemplifies what we believe are the qualities or the characteristics that Reliance Foundation scholars, have or should demonstrate. Uh, and as you know, in terms of like the video recap, where we have keywords, which is ranging from excellence, to having community mindset to community, a desire to serve the community, to having a growth mindset, and most of all, I think innovation is really something that we are actually looking for in terms of what it is that scholars demonstrate, the ability to innovate and the ability to do something that will actually serve the purpose for a community. So do your homework. I think that's really the bottom line. Do your homework, work hard, and most of all, please remember that there's a lot of bright scholars out there. So look at this as an experience. Whether there is success or whether you're not successful in this particular process, you would definitely learn a lot. And I think that will be valuable for you as an individual as you move forward. So Ayushi, those were like the few, key things that came at the top of my mind. But most of all, look at your seniors, the previous scholarship recipients, and see what it is that they demonstrate to really understand what this means.
Thank you so much, Jayashree. In fact, thank you so much, everyone, for your useful guidance. I'm sure now students are very clear on what the essays are, what the essays are not, what is a personal statement, what is a statement of purpose, and a lot of personal experience also from the two scholars we have today. Now, let's move on to our second segment, which is on the reference letters. Before deep diving into that, let's watch a very quick video on tips to the reference letters.
Hi everyone. I'd like to tell you a bit more about the two reference letters that you will need to submit as part of your application. One is an academic reference, which should be from an academic who can comment in detail on your scholastic ability. So someone who has formally taught and graded you. This could be one of the professors who is currently teaching you in your course. Or if you're a postgraduate student, you could also request a reference from one of your undergraduate professors. The second reference is the character reference. This one should testify to your character and your involvement in extracurricular or leadership activities. These referees should be supervisors who are able to speak in detail about your character and comment on whether your personal traits are aligned with the scholarship's criteria. So, for example, this could be a mentor or a tutor with whom you've worked closely and knows about your extracurricular activities. Or it could also be another professional who knows you well. So, how does the reference process work? You'll need to nominate two referees in the application form by providing their name, designation, and email ID. After this, the referees will receive a system-generated email from Reliance Foundation asking them to submit their references online through the portal.
They will have until 21st February to submit their references. That is 1 week after the application deadline.
So what are our top 3 tips on reference letters? Well, number 1, nominate referees early. Give them at least 3 weeks to write and submit their references. Number 2, speak to your referees. Let them know you're nominating them and make sure they receive the system-generated email to log into the portal. Number 3, touch base with your referees to remind them a week before the deadline. They will get reminders from the system, but it's better to be safe than sorry.
That was a super, super insightful video, and it's also available on the website for the students to refer to. But then here we'll now deep dive into the reference letter section with our speakers. So, Nitika, starting from you, what are the tips for the students as they think about who they should nominate as their referees?
So, like it was said in the video, choose a teacher or a mentor who knows you really well. If the teacher, knows you in two capacities, maybe, within the classroom and has observed some work of yours which is related to your academics outside as well. If you did a project or you did, some kind of online research and is able to comment on it, there'll be that much more content that the teacher can cover. It should be a teacher who in whose class you've done well. That will automatically ensure a positive recommendation. And if you share your reflections and your resume with your recommender, you're almost ensuring what goes into that recommendation. So while Jayashree said that approach them early, you should be approaching them now. While you request them for these recommendations, you should be giving them this information about yourself so that they can start crafting that recommendation, and when they have to submit it, it's as good as you would want it to be. And one last thing to keep in mind is that it should be a good writer, because you don't want grammatical or spelling or punctuation errors going in that recommendation.
Thanks, Nitika. That's really, really helpful. I'm sure, yeah, they should note these points down before reaching out to their referees. Coming to you, Rohit, from your experience of writing a reference letter last year, whom did you nominate as your referee?
Okay, so I chose the vice principal of my school to be my academic referee, and my institutional head, who was also my tutor for a long time, to be my character referee. So one point to see here is that both these people knew me very well from the time that I wanted to be a sports person and to the time that I chose IT as my career. They had seen me grown up. They had seen how passionate I was about what I'm doing. So it's very important that they know you very well. So that is why I could convey to them what the scholarship means to me. And I gave them ample amount of time to write the letters as detailed as possible. So that was one thing. And both these referees also knew about all my academic achievements, and my tutor knew about my character very well. So I also stayed in touch with them, and also let them know whenever I got an update from any of the emails. I did not wait for them to get the system generated email. I always called them and asked for the reference letters. This I always try to speak with them about what I'm doing in my life right now, what I think my goals should be, and how my goals are aligned to the values of the scholarship. So in summary, I did not depend on them to go through the website and see what the scholarship is looking for. I gave them a very detailed view of the scholarship, and obviously these two people were very much connected to me, so they happily filled it in, and I think the letters were very good. I also came to know how to write, how to like ask for a letter of recommendation to the scholarship only. So yeah.
Thank you, Rohit. Your whole experience is so authentic and so personal. And as you speak, we can absolutely see that you did your homework very well and you took those extra efforts, to make your application look really, really good and effective. Thank you for sharing that. Coming to you, Priya, we learned from the website that this year, just like the last year, we have like two reference letters. One is academic and one is character. So please, could you speak about the differences between the two reference letters?
Uh, so, as the name suggests, right, academic reference letter. So here, whosoever referee you are choosing up, he or she will know about your academia part pretty well. Uh, by saying that, so when Rohit was talking about their referees, and when I was, at my head seeing that who were my referees, one thing apart from this scholarship you need to learn here is that whether you are pursuing bachelor's or you are in a school or you are doing masters, we are not just for the sake of a degree. You have to maintain your relationships with your mentors in such a way that whenever these reference letters kind of things will come, for example, in future if I want to pursue my PhD, again reference letter is required from mentors. In at any point of time, they should, whosoever is your mentor, whosoever is your guide, maintain a good relationship with them. Because in bachelor's, at least when I was pursuing my masters, at that point of time Reliance Foundation scholarship came into picture. And in bachelor's I do have my mentors. And I hope there are so many students here who are doing the PG and they did the bachelor's, and you all know that we do have a minor and major, right? So complete 1 year, only one mentor or one guide guide us that okay, this is the project, this is how we should do. And our complete bachelor CGPA will depend on that guide. And similarly in PG also, thesis work completely depends on our guide. So I think, as per my experience, for those who are pursuing PG, I think bachelor's, for if you're in the first year, maybe your guide doesn't know as of now as comparable to the bachelor's guide. So try to approach to him or her and try to ask for an academic reference letter with respect to them, because they know your academia part, they know how well you are in a coding part, they know completely that how passionate you are about your research work in whatever things you are pursuing as of now. So that is what I did. With respect to character, now see, academia part is done. When we are talking about academic reference letter, what the panelists are looking in a character reference letter is, apart from academics, what other extracurricular activities you are interested in. Do you have the leadership skills or not? So there, try to approach to those supervisors who actually knows your character, your interest, your extracurricular things, with whom you can connect, you can share your personal stuffs as well, that okay ma'am. So in my scenarios, what happened was, there was one finance teacher who used to teach finance in my bachelor's, and I connected with her. See, she was a finance teacher, and as as per a character certificate, there is no linkage, but we connect with each other. There is a lot more apart from finance per se I used to share with her, so she know me pretty well. And then when I connected with her, she is like, I can write very easily, because we have shared a lot of stuffs, right? What you want to do, what are your leadership skills. So it doesn't matter that whether she is of finance background or she is from any English background. We don't care, no one cares whether she knows or whether the guide supervisor knows you or not. That is something which you have to reflect in your character certificate, character referees. So these are the two things, two differences that you have to take care of. So again, in your, when they will write the reference letters, it includes three portions: introduction, body, and conclusion, that you can clearly see on the slides part as well. So in the introduction part, teacher's introduction, what is the relationship. So for example, in my case, both are the supervisors. One is the guide I told you, and one is the finance teacher, right? And after that, in the body part, you have to, so whosoever is writing, please make sure they know you, whether with respect to academia also and with respect to character also. Otherwise they will not able to write a good things about you. So that is the ultimate thing. And finally, the conclusion part should be there. So it should be a proper, within the limit which is defined. And make sure, this is the last tip which I want to give here, is don't talk with that supervisor whom you didn't connected with, whom you don't feel much connected, right? So this is something which is the difference between the academia and the character reference letters. I hope it clarifies your concern.
Thank you so much, Priya. That was absolutely very, very clear. And also, while explaining, you were able to draw a lot from your own personal experience of writing both the letters last year. So that really helps. And I'm sure students have noted down those tips. Coming to you, Nitika, please can you tell us how can students help their referees with their letters?
Yeah. So I touched on this when I was talking about the recommendations earlier. The best way to do this is to give like a brag sheet, as you're seeing on the screen right now. Uh Complete this. You have access to these slides. Answer these questions for your recommender. Wherever you put like a trait or a skill of yours, highlight that so that that definitely gets covered. And the most important tip that I have is give an example, because otherwise, A is going to sound like B, is going to sound like C, is going to sound like D. It's only when you give specific examples of how that trait of yours or how that skill of yours surfaced in the classroom or in an employment space is how you will be distinguished from any other applicant. So I definitely go through this brag sheet and use it by giving the content to your recommenders so that they can write comprehensive recommendations for you. There's a second part to this brag sheet, which can also be accessed. And yeah, now that we've gone through this whole pandemic period, more and more institutes that you're applying to want to know how this has impacted your life, uh, in some cases even positively, but in growing experiences, I think everyone, whatever age, has had majorly growing experiences due to the pandemic. So that would be one thing that could be covered.
Thank you so much, Nitika. I absolutely think that the pandemic point was really important. Like to say safely, I hope in the post-pandemic era, yeah, that how students, were able to, utilize their times. What did they do? Yeah, so that's really helpful, and I'm sure students are able to draw from your learnings and the way you have explained. Just coming to you, Jayashree, any final tips on writing the reference letters from you to the students?
I think they've pretty much covered everything, Ayushi. I just want to say one seems like a small thing, but please remember to thank your referees. They're putting in a lot of their time, and their expertise and their word is very valuable, not just for this scholarship, but for your future. So maintain a good rapport. Whatever be the outcome of the application process, stay in touch with your mentors, stay in touch with the people who've helped you through the process, because that's what really counts for your life, your aspirations, and your future as well. So just remember to say thank you.
Thank you, Jayashree. With that, I would also actually say thank you to all of you for your valuable time today. And you could join us and help all the students who have joined us today. Because I'm sure essays and reference letters is a really important part for the Reliance Foundation postgraduate scholarships. And in order to write them effectively and to show their actual sense, it's like really important for these students to understand what is a statement of purposes, what is a personal statement, what is an academic reference letter, how to reach out to your referees, and very importantly, yes, maintain that personal touch, bring out your authenticity, and say thank you. And yes, thank you so much for joining us today evening. Now I will actually move on to the Q&A because we have been receiving a lot of questions from the students. So I'll just take the first question for the day. And the question is, how can we make CV, SOP, and personal statement exclusive so that each of them stands out? Nitika, please could you help us with this question?
So the CV and resume would be the same thing in when you're making an application like that. And you said the CV, resume, personal statement, right? So I think we've covered that. Um, when you authentically and genuinely put out all your activities, your academics, whatever you've accomplished academically and non-academically, it you are going to stand out. It's not going to be it's going to be different from anybody else's, because like Rohit plays badminton, Priya wants to teach. Everybody has their own specific goals, likes, accomplishments. So just be genuine and put it out there. You can't put anything out there which you've not done, so it has to be what you have accomplished.
Thanks, Nitika. One more question, and a very interesting question we have is the objective of the scholarship is to support students who can think big, think green, and think digital. So, how can applicants bring that out during the application? And can you re emphasize where to bring it up? I would request Jayshree if you can please take that question.
Thanks, Ayushi. Maybe Kairan can also add to this. But this has reference to what both Rohit and Priya were also talking about, and what came up during the course of this webinar. Look at some of the keywords. Look at what your professional ambitions and aspirations are. Look at what you do best and what you think you can do best, not just now, but in the future. And I think that should kind of help you bring this out into your essay, in terms of your statement of purpose, and also kind of touch upon it in your personal essay as well. I think that will help evaluators understand how you will meet the purpose of this scholarship.
Thanks, Jayshree. Kairan, if you would want to add anything to that.
I think Jayashree articulated that very well. But yeah, like you said, your evaluators are going to look at your personal statements and your essays very carefully. So try and bring those aspects out when you are writing.
Thanks, Kyron. We have been receiving a lot of questions I see on the aptitude test. So, Kyron, one of the students, Deepika, she asked, can we attempt the aptitude test in Hindi?
So the aptitude test will be only available in English this year. It won't be available in any other language.
Okay, I hope students, note that point. And one more question on the aptitude test is what syllabus I have to study for the test?
So there is no syllabus for you to study for the aptitude test. It's not a test of knowledge. The aptitude test will be around three aspects, which is your verbal, logical thinking, and as well as analytic abilities. What I would suggest is definitely take the practice test. The link for the same will be sent to you a week before the aptitude test, so you'll be able to one familiarize yourself with the system and also understand what kind of questions will be asked.
Thanks, Kyron. Kumar Raju asked a very good question for the benefit of all the students as well. How these reference letters will play a role in these scholarships? Nitika, please could you throw some light on that?
So, I'd like to say that, like the transcripts will give your academic record, your essays are your personal voice. The recommendations are the only place where an outsider will, in a way, validate what you're saying in the rest of your application. It's your academic abilities in the classroom. It's your goals beyond that, and your entire conduct that a professional like a teacher or a mentor sees from their capacity in your story of achievements. Yeah.
Thanks, Nitika. A last question on the aptitude test from one student where they ask, when is the test scheduled? Kyron, please can you throw some light on that?
So there are two dates for the aptitude test. Currently, it's 18th and 19th of February. When you are submitting your application form, you will be given a choice to select any one of these dates, and then a time slot will be automatically assigned to you. So those are the two dates when the aptitude test will be there. But please be careful when you're selecting the date. We do not allow for reschedules, be it the date or the time. So please be very mindful about your other commitments when you are selecting the date.
Thanks, Kyron. Students should note that the aptitude test is a very important component to submit the application this year. And yes, you should not self eliminate or worry, but then rather give that practice test and prepare yourself very well. So, thank you to all the speakers. Thank you, Jayashri. Thank you, Priya, Nitika, Rohit, and Kyron for your valuable time and joining us today. I'm really sure that students found this workshop really, really helpful. And yes, thank you so much for your valuable time once again.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
If if you would have any more questions which weren't answered during the session today, please visit our website. You can also read our frequently asked questions and guidance to applicants, or you can actually text on the chatbot or send emails or use the helpline number. Please do not forget that the applications close by 14th of February 2023, and we have one more webinar which is Skilling for the 21st Century on 24th of January at 6 p.m. And we will have a set of distinguished speakers who would actually explain the education arena and the skilling and the job market in today's time. So if you haven't registered yet, please do register and make sure you do attend it. Good luck with your applications, and everybody have a very good evening. Bye bye.